This is Joseph Yusuf, John the HutDweller. This is to Noodlyblessing. This is the third time I'm making this. My computer, that automatic shut down real fast because my laptop is crappy and it overheated. Yeah, I. It's very strange. The problems this term Aryan has. This video is not going to contain as much stuff as the last video. I've forgotten most of it. My passion has died down trying to get my computer in order. Um, a lot of the problems that it's actually a very funny thing. America, a lot of the white people in America are ridden with guilt and try to teach their kids this guilt. I grew up during the Clinton years, obviously, and there's just a ridiculousness to these terms and a fear of the word Aryan. Um, I've heard, and this affects the Black American community as well. Many black people say, "Oh, anybody outside of Europe is a non-white. All Arabs are non-white, non-Aryan, Egyptians, uh, Persians, Indian." It's very funny. They look at it as skin color, and if you look at black Africans and Indians, they actually don't have the same skin color. They say, "Oh, they're closer to us because," and it means really ignorant. Uh, it's very funny going to the masjid growing up. Uh, when I was still Muslim, it was very strange. I learned to hate the word Desi. You know, Desi means Pakistani, Indian, Sri Lankan, Bangladeshi, maybe southern parts of Nepal. Um, because you would have these in the masjid, even though they're all Isna, you would have. I'm not sure if you know any of these terms. Uh, you'd have that you could see the Desis praying, then the Arabs, and the rest, and it was really saddening. Uh, in America, it's it's very strange. People are ashamed of their past, or scared of it, or don't want to talk about it, or you can't. I mean, even saying white pride is considered racist, but black pride isn't. These things are all very strange. I don't understand them any more than anybody else does. It's funny if you were to take an Italian. Actually, some Italians actually look like they're from India. There's actually a popular myth about Italians that they were originally all blonde hair and blue eyes, and the Moors came in and raped all the women, and they turned black skin. That's not true at all. They were originally a very dark-skinned people, brown hair, brown eyes, and it was the Nordic people that came down, and the Vandals, Visigoths, Lombards, Normans. I mean, it just goes on and on. Blonde hair and blue eyes is actually a very strange thing in Rome. It became very beautiful and very popular because when the Roman armies took prisoners from Germany, they'd never seen women with blonde hair, so it became fashionable. It was like if you saw somebody with pink hair, it's kind of hot or something. And it's actually strange that the word Aryan has taken on to mean the Nordic white race, and there's many people who say, well, those Nordic people with the small nose and the thin lips and the blue eyes and the blonde hair actually are probably one of the only European groups that are non-Aryan, and I actually tend to agree with that. If you take a well, let's address this first. The word Latin only ascribed to one tribe in Italy. And then the Latin race was seen as the Italian people. And when they conquered the Iberian Peninsula, um, the Latins were the Spanish, the Italians, and the Portuguese. And then when the Spanish conquered the Americas and the Portuguese, they used this term Hispanic to refer to only the light-skinned European type people when they came to the United States, and then they tried to use the word Latin as a more racial thing, but then that caught on. So now we have uh, dark skinned Indian, Native American looking Mexican people and people of black African descent calling themselves Latin. Now, as time goes on, there's starting to be a backlash against that, and I know many Mexicans say, I'm not Latino, I'm a mestizo, or I'm a, even though mestizo means you're part and part. Uh, They want to bring out their more Aztec or Mayan ancestry than the Spanish ancestry. If you were to take somebody from Italy, Greece, Syria, I don't think anybody would be able to differentiate between those two. And there are people you can bring from India and Persia, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And then they're from in between Syria and I mean, it's like the Olympic rings, how everything connects. Uh, we see that there was, I mean, the word Latin is used just like the word Aryan is used. It could mean, some people try to minimalize it to just mean, oh, it was just the nobles, the priesthood of these people who would later become Hindus and Zoroastrians, and that's all it meant. And then there's people who distort it to mean, oh, it's the very Nordic people who, as I said, I don't believe them to be Aryans. Uh, but there is this phenomenon of the ancient Vedas, I believe, talk about this, that from about Ireland to southern India, we had a consistent language, religion, and culture. Uh, People say Western civilization, and if you really want to talk about Western civilization beginning in Sumer and Akkad, I think you have to say that India is part of the West because it is more like the West than it is like China. Uh, I have a specific love for India. I had never been there, but I grew up around many. I can't stand this word again because I think it's nationalist. Many desis, for lack of a better word. And I've always thought Indian women were the most beautiful women on the face of the earth. They're, just beautiful people. It's mind blowing. Um, and I was more used to being around, because it's Muslims, uh, them than quote unquote white people. And it's actually kind of disturbing. Even in recent years, I've heard Arabs talk about, oh, well, the white people, and as if they're not. This term white is actually extremely useless. You should probably go back to Aryan, which is a better description. And as you know, I on the comment section you were mentioning with this guy who's a very Desi nationalist and thinks that the brown people invented anything, the brown people invented all science and philosophy, the whites did nothing. That is very stupid and strange um, view, and you wonder where are people getting this stuff from. You know what? There's a lot more I wanted to say, but I made 3 videos. My thoughts aren't in order anymore. I'm sorry if it's very jumbled. I am so glad to have met you. I think you're the only person who I've come across that actually can talk about this in a sane manner. Peace to you. I don't I have no idea what religion is. I don't even care. I shouldn't even bring it up, but I will be praying for you. I tell everybody that. God meets anybody where they're at. If you're an atheist, good. If you're if you're not religious, good. If you're very religious, good. It's all person by person with me. Well, I'm extremely happy I met you. Finally, an educated person. I was actually shocked when you said I'm the only one that said I loved your video. All right, I will cut this short, but I'm just so excited to meet somebody who, I want to talk about these things, but white people actually wind up being more racist in America because they're the guilt and for reasons they don't even know why. Um, But yeah, I only watched like 2 minutes of your video, and then I made my video because I was way too excited. And then I went back and watched your video, and you addressed a lot of the same stuff that was in my video. It's kind of funny. Well, I said stuff and I didn't know it was in your video at the time, I should say. But yeah, hey, I look forward to talking with you more on YouTube. Peace to you. So happy I met you. So excited.